What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Raya and the Last Dragon. And man, this was a fantastic film. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna say this right now. This is without a doubt the best shot and probably even the best scored Disney movie I've seen since Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was that good. Now, am I saying it is as good as Hunchback? Ha! Fuck no. I don't mean that as a dig to Raya, like the movie, but the movie was fantastic in its own right. This is a fantastic Disney movie, but this ain't Hunchback. let's get this ain't on par with Hunchback, at least to me, man. You guys know that I fucks hard with Hunchback. But anyway, this was still a fantastic Disney movie in its own right, man, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself from start to finish. So, without further ado, guys, let's just jump in. So the movie's directed by, and I'm probably gonna butcher some names, right? Butcher some names, so forgive me if I do. The movie's directed by Carlos Lopez Estrada and Don Hall, and of course, those Kelly Marie Tran, Gemma Chan, Sandra Wu, Daniel Day Kim, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this woman's name. The chick that voices Sisu, because I don't know what the hell to say, but I'm just saying Nora Loom, because that's what else our IMDb page, because I'm not even going to try and pronounce what the fuck this says. But anyway, guys, the plot, but yeah, man, by the way, she was fantastic in the film, by the way. She was one of the highlights. Anyway, so the plot of the film is that long ago in a fantasy world of Kumudra, humans and dragons lived together in harmony. However, when a sinister monster known as the Druid threatened the land, the dragons sacrificed themselves to save humanity. Now, 500 years later, those same monsters have returned, and it's up to the lone warrior to track down the last dragon and stop the Druid for good. So, like I said before, the movie was fantastic. One thing, of course, we got to talk about the cast. Kelly Marie Tran as Raya does a fantastic job. She was absolutely amazing in the role. And the rest of the cast did fantastic jobs in their own right. But we got to talk about Nora Loom as Sisu. She was fantastic. She was entertaining and she was hilarious as fuck. I always enjoyed her on screen, man, and she was just a great time. The rest of the cast was fantastic in their own right, like Gemma Chan, who voices Nariari, if I'm saying that right, she was also fantastic as well, and the rest of the cast were great in their own right. Before we jump right, we gotta talk about this. Before I go into other stuff, we gotta talk about the cinematography. Because, like I mentioned before, this is probably the best shot Disney movie I've seen since Hunchback of Notre Dame. You guys remember, Hunchback of Notre Dame had some of the best cinematography you will probably see in the anime film, at least from the West. I'm sure someone can bring up some anime films where, oh no, this is better, like Ghost in the Shell or Akira or some shit. But when we talk about Western films, especially Disney films, Hunchback was probably the pinnacle. That was the peak because of the sense of scale that had with all the buildings, the cathedral itself, and all that shit. It just really just made such a grand sense of scale, and the music in that film was fantastic. Raya, I think, is great because of how it uses like lighting and other shots. Like this movie kind of almost felt like an anime at times, with like especially the fights. Like the fights kind of are like low key shot like animes almost at times. With like when we get to like Raya versus against Nariami, or like throughout the film, like they straight up low-key become anime fights low-key with how they're shot and everything. The animation is, of course, on point, and I love the camera angles these used. And like I said, they were shot beautifully. The cinematography, like the lighting, the use of colors, it looked awe-inspiring. And the cinematography was fucking amazing. So shout out to the cinematographer. Whoever the cinematographer was for Raya, that dude did a fantastic job, man. So that was absolutely amazing. Like there were so many great shots, especially around the end of the film, the movie just just looked absolutely amazing. And throughout the rest of the film, the different locations we saw all looked fantastic, man, and the cinematography was on point. It did not fucking miss in this movie. The music, of course, the music was so good. I remember when I was watching the film, like, damn, this music fucking slaps. Who was the composer for this film? And I was not surprised when I found out it was James Newton Howard, which, as you guys may know, he does a lot of M. Night Shyamalan films, like he did Signs as well, but most particularly Unbreakable. If y'all have seen Unbreakable, which if you haven't, please, for the love of God, watch Unbreakable. It is so underrated. It needs more love. Please watch Unbreakable. It's so good. Anyway, that's me. There's nothing gush about Unbreakable. That movie had some amazing music in there, man. Just so good, man. And he's done other films in the past, like I said, he did The Sixth Sense, he did Batman Begins as well, so you know this man knows it. He also did other handful of Disney films as well, actually. So James Newton, he's definitely one of the best composers out there, and you can definitely tell what the soundtrack in this movie with a lot of use of percussion. I love the use of percussion in this film, man. Like that was what the score predominantly relied on, was a lot of percussion, which I like. I like my drums. I like my drums, man. What can I say? I like my drums. And like I'm gonna be having like various songs from the score, probably a couple songs from the score playing in the background of this video, so you guys get to hear it for yourself, to see how good this score really is, man. Because damn, was it fun! The score for this film was absolutely fucking amazing, man. It was amazing. I love the score for this film. James Howard did a fantastic job with this film. The fight scenes and the animation, of course, are on point. Disney, the animation, of course, from Disney looks absolutely amazing, and the fight scenes look so damn good. They're shot beautifully. Like I said before, they almost low-key become anime fights at times. They're kind of like, I wouldn't say they get as crazy as anime fights, but like more. But they definitely have like the fluidity and like the cinematography of anime fights, I would say. It looked really fucking cool, man. It looked really, really damn good. And speaking of anime, we got to talk, of course, about the main rivalry going on between Raya and Narya. We're like the two main main focuses we focus around the movie. Which I like their relationship. I thought it was really cool. The nice little rivalry they had between the two from when they were kids to what happens to, of course, now. Very Naruto Sasuke. Yes, I know some of that Naruto Sasuke going to, maybe the directors were watching some Naruto while they were making this film or something. But I really thought their relationship. I thought the overall rivalry between these two and what could have been had, if this was a different world or whatever, not having all these different countries or people, whatever, coming after each other for this dragon gem, man. It was really cool, and I really dug their relationship throughout the whole film, especially around the end of the film when everything gets batshit insane. It was really good. I really dug the relationship. Like I mentioned before, I already mentioned how Lua Wong, Nora Loom, she was fantastic in the film. Now let's get into some of the problems it had, because I pretty much mentioned everything I thought was good with the film. The animation, the score, the cinematography, the performances, all that shit was great. The first act was a little predictable. The movie was predictable at times. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Coco was, because if you guys remember, I might have mentioned this in my review for Coco, that I thought the third act was completely, you saw shit from a mile away in the third act of Coco. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my review, how I was predicting everything in the third act as it was happening. I was like, oh, this will happen, then this, and everything was happening in that exact same order I was predicting. Hell, I even predicted the scene that would make people cry. And almost as soon as my hand went, and I did a countdown too. I was in the theater being like, and people start crying in 3, 2, 1, and then right a little after I got to 1, I hear sniffling behind me. I was like, God damn, I'm a fucking wizard or some shit, man, out here predicting shit. But the first act, I was like, oh, this will happen, then this will happen, and it happened just like that. And I was like, called it. Now the rest of the movie, thankfully, is not where near as predictable first act, but the first act was predictable. Whether you want to say that's a fault from the writers or the fact that I've just seen too many Disney movies, I will leave up to you guys watching this video. But so the first day was a little predictable. Another thing I would say is probably the characters. The characters overall, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to here say the characters were one-dimensional, they were kind of shit or whatever. I thought the characters were overall pretty good for the roles they were given, but that's about it. I think they were all good for the roles because none of them really have much nuance. You're not really given much to care about. There isn't really much for you to get invested in and dissect with these characters. But most of them, you kind of figure out what they're about from the first 5 minutes they're introduced. Now, some of the characters do get a little bit nuanced, like the kid that we see midway through the film. I thought his character was probably one of the better ones, and I thought when we found out what actually needs up with his backstory, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't see that. So there is, and Raya I thought was overall probably the most developed character, which makes sense, she is the protagonist. But I thought most of the characters were pretty good, but I feel like a little bit of a little extra character development probably would have helped them a little bit. Because they're overall good, but I think they could probably use a little bit more development, a little bit more. But that's just me, mostly. And one final thing, and I don't know how y'all felt, but I was kind of iffy about the message of the film. Now, maybe that's just a cynic in me talking. I can fully admit that. I don't know how y'all felt about the message, but I was a little iffy about it. I was like, yeah, I don't know about that one, But that could, like I said, that could just be a cynic in me talking, and whatever. Tell me down below, if you guys have seen Raya, what y'all thought of the message. If you kind of agree with it, were you kind of iffy on it like that, or are you like, no, because I was a little iffy on the message. I was a little iffy on it, but besides that, man, that's really all I gotta say about Raya. This was an overall fantastic film, man, and I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish, man. I really, really enjoyed this. There is, like I said before, and also I loved Raya's outfit when we see the whole thing where she has the robe on and the hat and everything. It looks so fucking badass. I love, especially around the end of the film when she's walking, when that woman is walking with a fucking purpose. You know, oh, it looks so badass with the shots that they do and everything. Oh, it looks so good. I cannot gush over the cinematography for this film. No, this thing better get an Oscar now. It better. Y'all motherfuckers screwed fucking Wonder Woman 1984, which I feel like. Say what you will about 1980, Wonder Woman 1984. You had to, with the cinematography in that film was god tier. That was like a fucking Silver Age comic come to life. You know, there was that one. Tenet was another one that got screwed. That barely got nominated for anything. But hopefully, I would like to see Raya get a nomination for best cinematography because this movie was absolutely fucking sick. Like I said, I haven't seen cinematography this good in a Disney film, and I probably admit that you could probably bring us some other examples, maybe more recent films that you might think have better cinematography. But I haven't seen cinematography this good since like Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was back in the '90s. Which, yeah, but like, yeah, I can't gush about the cinematography. It was so good, and the music. The music. James and Howard did an absolute fantastic job with the score, man. Like, I'll be having songs playing of it in the background of this video so you guys can hear it for yourself. Damn, this shit slapped! Anyway, guys, that's about all I gotta say with Raya, man. Tell me down below what you guys thought of the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave it all down below in the comment section below. And overall, guys, I'm gonna give Raya and the Last Dragon a 9 out of 10, guys. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.